Skvagersson here, back for our first knit dishcloth for the season, the Herringbone knit dishcloth. No matter if you're a complete beginner or advanced knitter, you'll be able to stitch it, as it's basically just knit and purl stitches. And then some yarn overs here and there, creating this intricate looking texture. After the garter stitch border, which is just knit on every row, we will repeat 2 pattern rows over and over again. And the slanting stitches giving the look are created by passing the yarn overs over a couple of stitches. I will demonstrate this for you slowly so that you can follow along. Let's get started. So we'll start right side rows by knitting 6 stitches, and then we have the repetition starting with the star. So we have the working yarn here in the back, and we start by working a yarn over, and then we're slipping the next stitch here as if to purl. So we're going from the front of the stitch, slipping it over from left needle over here to our right needle tip. Then we will knit the next 2. And then the pattern says PSSO, which stands for pass the slipped stitch over. So this is the stitch we slipped. Pull on it a little bit, and so that you can pass it over those 2 stitches that we knitted. And there you have that slanting stitch that creates. So we lost the stitch, but we'd made a yarn over, so that compensates. So now we go back, do another repetition, yarn over, slip the next one as if to purl, knit the next 2 stitches, pass this slipped stitch over. There you go. So we have 2 repetitions, and we'll keep repeating this all the way across to the final 5 stitches. I'm passing my last slip stitch over. I have 5 stitches remaining on the row. So these are the garter stitches over in this end of the cloth. So just knit all those 5, and that finishes our row 1. So you'll turn around to the wrong side of work. Here, we're again starting by just knitting the first stitches here, knitting 5 when we are on the wrong side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to purl 1 stitch before the repetition. So to purl, the way I do it, I hold the working yarn towards me, then go into that stitch from the front, wrap working yarn around, and pull it through and lift off the stitch. Then we have the repetition, yarn over. And as we are on the wrong side of work, we're going to hold the working yarn towards us when we slip the next stitch as if to purl. And then purl the next 2. 1 and 2. And then pass that slipped stitch over. That's our repetition. We yarn over, slip the next stitch, purl the next 2, and then pass the slip stitch over. So that's the repetition that you will repeat all the way across to your final 5 stitches. So I finished rows 1 and 2, and now we'll just keep repeating row 1 and 2 back and forth, and you will start seeing the texture growing here in the center between your garter stitches. Once your piece is about 8 inches in height, we'll finish with a matching edge also in this end by knitting 8 rows before we bind off. So to bind off, you see